Yuma, why'd you have to get involved? Just imagine what you would have been willing to do. Okay, I take it back. It's a good thing Yuma showed up. Yuma is awesome. Coach is just sitting there watching. There's actually some decent logic for how he could get his powers back. Oh. There was no point in her stripping. Dang, Kojo, dang. What, you mean she's actually in pain from being bitten? That's not how anime works. There we go, there we go. Yase and that girl we haven't seen since the stuff with Valor. I'm pretty sure Himeraki could actually squeeze through the openings in that cage. That was a pretty big one. That was right there. A bunch of small ones and then a couple real big ones. Oh, oh, yo, nice. What if she hadn't ducked? You would have gotten her too. Again, this is our fight. Yeah, she says that like every arc. Oh, these guys again. Even the Witches of Ashdown are in there, man. Like, why? No, I don't want to see these guys again. The Witches of Ashdown are okay. I don't want to see these guys. Phantoms are not. Oh, boom! What did I say? What did I say? Didn't I say that that blood would be relevant later? Didn't I say that? Boom! What? Called it. He's using all his familiars today, man. Fang's on. Oh, Itagami! Oh. Wait, so is this dude still in the Lion King organization or not? Like, what is he against them or for them? With them. Ooh, a second kiss. Why are you apologizing to her for? Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Strike the Blood, episode 19. And this episode starts off with a short flashback to 10 years ago, Natsuki confronting Aya. We see Natsuki use her Guardian for the first time. We hadn't actually seen that before, her Gold Guardian, so that was cool. And Aya has Leombare there. And she mentions to Natsuki that she is a tool created by the corporation. So, the corporation, that could refer to a bunch of different things. Maybe it's the Lion King organization, since she doesn't exactly like them very much. Maybe it's the Island Guard. Maybe it's the library. It could be. Maybe it's just a different group entirely. You know, it could be anything really. But I'm sure we'll find out sooner or later. So yeah. But after that, it's mainly focused on Sayaka and Kojo for a decent chunk of time. Sayaka's trying to think of ways to save Kojo, and in the end, she just decides, hey, I'll strip, get him turned on, and have him suck my blood. I love Sayaka so much. She's so awesome. She's supposed to be this character that's afraid of men, but she's the boldest one around Kojo. Even Asagi doesn't. Well, actually, yeah, she kind of does. But her and Asagi are the. Well, no, not really. Well, fully. Yuma. Okay, actually, no. I take that back. Himuragi's the only one who isn't actually bold around Kojo. Yeah. Dude, man, Kojo's lucky, man. Okay, let me move on. All right, she decides that she'd try and get Kojo to suck her blood so that way he could be healed, and she starts tripping, and there is some comedy here because Kojo's telling her, like, you know, if it wasn't for this giant hole in my chest, I would actually be turned on right now. And then he starts like critiquing and like judging her taste in underwear. It was just funny. And Yuma ended up coming in too. And And it was funny because she actually hinted at a threesome, but no, that didn't happen. It turns out that well, first she was flirting with Sayaka and stuff, calling her beautiful and stuff. She took her underwear off actually, and she just like that changed her mood, saying, I think we should be serious right now. That caught me off guard. But she ends up explaining that the way things are working right now on the island is that anyone with supernatural powers, they're just negated and canceled out, except for Aya herself. And since she is a copy of Aya, she should be able to use her powers too. So she has Kojo drink her blood. That way he can get his powers back. So that kind of makes sense. If if her blood is running through his system, the blood of someone who can use supernatural abilities, then I guess it would make sense for him to be able to use supernatural abilities after ingesting that blood, especially since he's a vampire. So yeah, that was cool. I thought it was a good way how they fixed that situation. So Kojo ended up sucking her blood, then moving on to Sayaka right afterwards. That caught me off guard. So yeah, go Kojo. He usually isn't like that, but I guess his vampiric instincts kicked in, and he just went over to her and sucked her blood like that. He just walked over and was like, "Hey man, do it. Hey, I'm the dominant one here. You do what I want. I want your blood. I'll take it." So that was interesting. We should see that dominating side of Kojo more often. Though we probably won't see it that often, but whatever. Whatever. We'll see it this time. Um, Something that was funny was that Sayaka Sayaka was the first person I think so far who has had their blood sucked by Kojo, and has actually showed a little bit of pain. Like usually all these girls are like getting pleasure from being bitten in the neck. I'm like, wait, what? That doesn't make sense. But Sayaka was actually hurting a little bit there, so that for a little bit at least. The pleasure came later, but she was hurting a little bit at least. So that was that was cool. Finally. But after the blood sucking session, Kojo ends up remembering something that Aurora told him, the previous fourth project, the previous Kale blood, and she tells him that vampires are special beings who are like in between life and death and existence and non-existence, and just they're in between light and dark, good and evil, like in between a bunch of things. And she says that what vampires can do is they can return all things to the mist of chaos that they originated from. And that's kind of a little bit of mythology right there, because chaos is supposed to be the original god slash being, the thing that created all the other gods. Chaos is like the progenitor of all gods in mythology, pretty much. Maybe not in all mythology, because it's different mythology, different legends, But chaos, the god Chaos, is the progenitor of all the other gods. It's all 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 gods. Their ancestry can be traced back to Chaos. So I'm assuming that's what Aurora meant when she said return things to the mist of chaos they originated from. So yeah, a little insight, a little insight to that. Maybe it might not even be the case that that's what she was talking about. It might just be a coincidence, but I don't think it is. Um, but yeah, Kojo remembers that, and then he somehow figures out that his fourth familiar accepted him when he got stabbed by Himuragi's staff, the Schnee Waltzer or whatever. And I'm not really sure why that's the case. I oh well, I get because originally the reason why they didn't accept him was because they didn't see him as a true vampire because he hadn't sucked anyone's blood. But that doesn't mean that sucking blood is the only way to get them to see you as a vampire, because as we see later with Yaze and Paper Noise, we see that they're talking about how Kojo was an incomplete vampire who couldn't do a mist transformation. So maybe after he was stabbed, he became capable of using his mist transformation, and that's when his fourth familiar accepted him. However, as Sayaka ends up saying afterwards, she says that Uh, just the pantyless Sayaka, by the way, because this entire time she didn't have any panties because Yuma took them off. So I thought that was funny how she was just standing up without a care in the world, not embarrassed or anything like that, just forgetting that fact. I thought that was funny. But she said that that new familiar, it only half materialized, and that wound on his chest that wouldn't heal, that's how it materialized halfway. So I guess after he sucked the blood of Yuma and Sayaka, that's when it fully materialized. So it was a combination of that and being able to use the mist transformation, right? So, because originally I didn't really get how it made sense for it to just materialize from being stabbed, but I think that has something to do with it. Um, Yeah, oh yeah. Well, while I'm on the topic, Yaze was talking with Paper Noise, who was the same girl who was talking with Vatler back when he decided to, at the end of his arc, um, back when he decided to become an ambassador, have his embassy there and stuff like that. Um, but they were talking about Kojo and how he turned the island into mist so that it couldn't sink. So that which was actually kind of cool how they fixed that problem. I mean, vampires and I mean, I wasn't aware of the fact that vampires had powers other than, creating familiars and stuff like that, or summoning familiars, I should say. Immortality and summoning familiars, but I mean, I'm fine with it. It's not like it's a power that came out of nowhere because we never really knew all of the powers of vampires in the first place. So, I don't really consider it. I think it makes sense. Yeah, so they're talking. They mentioned that thing I mentioned a couple minutes ago about how he did his first mist transformation and stuff like that. And since Yaze is acquainted with her, does that mean he's a part of the Lion King organization? Because back when she was in the episode with Val in the embassy and stuff, I'm pretty sure I remember thinking that she was a part of the Lion King organization for some reason or another. But she might have even mentioned it. But I remember thinking she's a part of the Lion King organization. So if she's acquainted with Yaze, does that mean he's a part of the Lion King organization as well? But if that were the case, then why would he be acquainted with Natsuki? Because we saw during the arc with Kanon and Bakura, the angel one, that those two were talking back when they were in when they were in they were they found one of the I guess she wasn't a corpse yet, she was still alive, but they found the body of one of the girls that were being experimented on, so they were just there doing some research on her, I guess, trying to figure out what was wrong with her, diagnose her, I guess. So Yaze and Natsuki are acquainted too. So, and Natsuki isn't the biggest fan of Lion King organization, like I said before. So why would she be working with him if she doesn't like people from the Lion King organization? But it's not like she has a problem with Himeragi though. So all these relationships, is Yaze part of the Lion King organization, or is he part of some other group? Is he part of the corporation? Is he part of Island Guard? Like what? I know he's supposed to be the group he's in is supposed to like not interfere with things. That's what he said when he encountered Vatler. But there's just so many groups and associations and relationships. It's hard to figure out who's who. We still don't technically know who that girl was who was talking through the bird to Yaze a long time ago with the arc and with Eustache Rudolph. And that girl who watched as Kojo activated his first familiar, Regulus arm for the first time. I don't think it was Paper Noise, was it? I didn't think the girl there had twin tails. I don't know. I'll have to go back and check. But it's just so many relationships and associations and groups and things. It's just hard to figure out who's who, who's with who. But yeah, well, I got off on a little bit of a tangent. Well, not a tangent, but yeah, I kind of got away from the episode there. But what ends up happening is that Kojo ends up summoning his fourth familiar. Well, not the fourth familiar, but the fourth familiar that accepted him. He summons Natra Cinereus. All right, and yeah, he turns the city to mist and all that. He becomes mist, and after that, we go to Himeragi and her situation with Aya. Earlier, we saw this this dream state that she was in. It's pretty much what it was. Is she was trapped in Infinite Tsukuyomi, right, from Naruto, or Cosmo and Telekia from Negima, something like that, where she was in like a dream world that is suited to her, one that is her perfect ideal world. Right, she was there, and then she ended up waking up. And once she woke up, Aya proposed that her lance, her spear, it doesn't negate magic like we thought. What it does is it returns the world to what it was meant to be. So a world without any supernatural abilities. So she also insinuates that Himeragi isn't human because she controls a power like that. But we end up transitioning from that into discussing what Aya's goal is, why she's doing all this. She says that because this world wasn't supposed to be this way, because it has all these supernatural things, she views it as being cursed. And she wants to rewrite the world how she sees fit, which kind of gets away from the whole it's cursed thing, because it's pretty much, she's just doing it for revenge. She doesn't like how witches were treated and stuff like that. So it's, she wants to change the world how she sees fit, which is pretty much what Obito and Madara were doing, changing the world how they see fit. And before we get more of that, Kojo comes in with Mercury, the third familiar. He that accepted him, I should say, not unlocked. It's not like they're behind a door and he has to get the key. It's just they're all there. It's just they don't accept him and they don't let him use their power. So yeah, he uses the third familiar that accepted him, Mercury. That's not his full name. I'm just calling it Mercury because it sounds cool. So he uses Mercury. He breaks through the barrier that Aya created. They start fighting after a little bit of talking. She creates phantoms of all the people who were in this arc. The witches are bashed down. The prison barrier escapees. They get taken out pretty easily by Al Nasominion. Himeragi joins in with the fight, but she ends up getting tentacle raped by Aya, pretty much. And she's going to use Le Ombre to take out Himeragi. And Natsuki ends up using her guardian, the Gold Guardian, to save Himeragi. That's when Himeragi breaks free. Now, I don't know how that's possible. How it's possible for Natsuki to use her magic, because she mentioned that the reason her body became capable of using magic was because she regained that ability because of Kojo's blood in the bath, which is what I mentioned last episode. I said it. You can go back and check. I said that blood was going to be relevant somehow. I said it, all right? But Kojo's blood, is what allowed her to regain the ability to use magic. But that doesn't change the fact that the Grimoire, the Dark Oath Grimoire, is preventing anyone except for Aya from using supernatural abilities. So she still shouldn't be able to use magic. We got explanations for Aya and Kojo and Yuma and Himeragi. But Natsuki, why? Like, why couldn't she use magic? I'm not really like it. Is it because she's a tool created by the corporation? Like, we never really figured that out. So I don't know. I don't know why she can use her magic, but they didn't really try to explain it. But whatever. She ends up using her magic, taking the grimoire back. Through a series of events, like Ombre ends up turning back to Le Blue, and Yuma takes it back. And Aya, she senses that she's going to lose, so she enters a witch's final form, Lost. And pretty much what it is she feeds her soul to demons. And Natsuki's talking about how, she's lost. There's nothing she can do to come back now. She's done for. And Himeragi says, no, that's not true, because if what she said is true about my staff, and it returns things to what they used to be, or what they were meant to be, then if I slash her with this, it will return her to what she meant to be, which was a human. Well, a witch, but Actually technically might have turned her into a normal human. That was never really confirmed. So yeah, Aya might be a normal human now, but that's how she gets beat. And after this, we see the second to last part of the episode where Lost Noise goes and talks to Mega Itogami. Right, this dude has the same name as the island. All right, so either he's named after the island or the island is named after him, or he's the descendant of some of the person who created the island. He might have created the island himself, because it is man-made. So he might have been the one to create the island. But according to Paper Noise, he was using Aya, and he was in this museum. He was in this museum, and he took out this weapon. It was a staff just like Himuragi's. I forgot what he called it. I mentioned it in my live reaction. Something with an F or some letter. It had letters in it. Okay. I don't remember the actual name. But he took out this weapon, and Paper Noise refers to it as a failed production. So she's just going to let him take it. And he says, well, I guess it's perfectly suited to me then. So that means that whatever the Lion King organization did something to him, right? They tried to shape him to be something like they did with Himuragi and Sayaka, but they failed with him, and I guess he's just a failure. But he's still would, but he can't be a failure if his name is Itogami. I mean, seriously. Well, I'm sure we'll find out about that later. This is the first hint of like legitimate long-term plot in the series, because before we just had like one-shot arcs. You know, we get recurring characters from those arcs, but as far as the plot goes, nothing has legitimately come back yet. You know, the churches that Eustache Rudolph was in. Kensei has come back, but like the whole thing with angels and all like that. That's not really long-term plot. I doubt Beatrice Basler is going to come back as a villain. Like, if she did, that'd be cool, because I liked her, but, you know, I highly doubt it. Christoph Gardos is done for. He's in jail or something. Like we've just had, like, one-shot arcs. But this is the first hint of, like, legitimate long-term plot. And a villain, maybe a villain. Not a good guy, but maybe not a villain either. This is the first hint we have of long-term plot, something that will come back time and time again, so it's finally resolved. So I'm glad about that. And he's clearly got plans to do something. He does. That's why he got the weapon. And Paper Noise actually decides she's not going to stop him. And her reasoning for that is because he's shouldering Megaro. It's like his name, but R-O-U at the end. Megara, and it's one word. So she said that he shouldered that. So the only way she'd be able to stop him is to kill him. Whether that be because he's strong or because that's just the resolve he has. No matter what she did to him, he just wouldn't stop, and she would just have to kill him. But she says that she won't stop him because he's shouldering that. He shouldered that, past tense. He shouldered that. And she also mentions that the Lion King organization wouldn't suffer any harm by letting him go. So it's really starting to make me question whether or not he is still loyal to the Lion King organization, whether he's actually with them or if he's against them. His position right now is up in the air. I don't know what to think about this guy. He's probably going to be a villain, but not... I mean, the Lion King organization in general are probably going to be villains. And once Himuragi and Sayaka find out the truth about like how they want her to be Kojo's queen, and they're plotting all this stuff, they'll probably leave. You know, these guys are like Sinbad and Magi, right? They're good guys, but not really. They're shady, all right? So this episode actually gave us a lot of stuff. A lot of hints towards the future and information, questions regarding the associations that different characters have with different groups, whether these groups are in fact different groups, the relationships between those characters and other characters. It's just, we got a lot of questions regarding that. So it was actually a very good episode, and we actually got a little comedy at the end there. They were showing us the fireworks. Kojo and Himuragi were watching them, and Yuma shows up because she was legit like involved in all this trouble. She's the one who started all of it. she is going to have a trial and there's going to be an investigation on the matter. So, though she won't get off probably without like any jail time or any like punishment at all. They'll probably go easy on her since she did end up being pretty important in stopping Aya. So, but at the same time, they won't let her off because she was the reason Aya was even out there in the first place. So, they might go easy on her, but she was definitely going to get a punishment of some sort. However, she promises that her and Kojo will meet again at some point. So whether that'll be within the span of the anime, who knows? Probably not. But she'll show up again at some point. And before she leaves, she kisses Kojo, which caught me off guard. I didn't expect that. But yeah, Himuragi ended up getting jealous because of that. And she kind of confesses to Kojo, but not really. Like once she realized that all the other guys had showed up, Asagi, Yaze, Sayaka, Nagisa, that one girl that's friends with Asagi, like all like the whole crew was there. So once she saw that, she like kind of tried to take it back and say like, oh no, I only meant it as his observer, which she shouldn't have said because like half the people there don't know that Kojo is the progenitor. Nagisa, Asagi, their friend, they don't know that Yaze knows, so technically that should be 4. So pretty much that entire group has no clue. Like that, she could have like just spoiled Kojo's identity for all of them. So yeah, but yeah, that's it. That's the last part of the episode. During the preview, we see Kojo on top of Asagi at some point in time. Himuragi mentioned something about them leaving the island for something. And we get the name of the next arc is The Alchemist's Return. So, which reminds me of Index, because people, including me, compare this show to Index, and Index also had an alchemist character who was involved with one of the main characters before the start of the series and came back into the story, even though it was his first appearance. So The Alchemist Return is actually like very, very reminiscent of that arc in Index. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a similar situation where an alchemist who was involved with characters before the series started ends up returning. I'm looking forward to that. But it might be the last arc of the anime. It might. They'll have to do like 3 and 3. Oh no, there's 5 episodes left, I think, in the anime. Yeah, so yeah, this will probably be the last arc that they animate. So hopefully it's good. Hopefully it ends on a good note. As far as this episode goes, I will give it an 8.5 out of 10 because, like I said, it was a lot of hints towards the relationships, associations, and between groups and people in the series. Plus development with Kojo and with Kojo's character in general. He got his 4th familiar. He grew as a vampire with the mistransformation. The stuff with Mega and Paper Noise and Yaze, Natsuki. Was like a lot of informative stuff happened, but at the same time, the end fight with Aya was kind of underwhelming. Because Strike the Blood tends to focus on building up these final clashes, but these final confrontations, but the actual fights themselves aren't exactly like amazing. Like it's not an action series really. I mean, when it does action, it's certainly not bad or below average, but it's not like amazing either. So it's I was kind of expecting more from the fight with Aya, but I mean, it's fine. I'll still give the episode an 8.5 out of 10. And yeah, that's it. This review's going on for way too long. 27 minutes, Jesus Christ. Alright, that's it, you guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.